Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Get it up here. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 35% off. All right, so we are here doing the Chiefs, who are the Raiders are playing this week. It should be a fun game for the Raiders this week. Yes, especially defense is not going to be the easiest game to watch, in my opinion. It's not going to be very fun for the Raiders offense, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to be, there's always a chance for the Raiders to upset the team. So, we're going to be positive over here and have those thoughts. But it's going to be a tough game. I don't know what you saw, Matt, but it's going to be a little bit of a rough game for the Raiders offense for sure.
Yeah.
I know the Chiefs offense is not the greatest in the world right now, and they're struggling. We see some DeAndre Hopkins with the trade with that. But what were some of your thoughts on the Chiefs offense?
I mean, kind of like what you said, I think the reason why the door is open to potentially pull off an upset is that the fact that their offense isn't that great this year. They're still kind of figuring things out, especially in the passing game. Like, you look at Mahomes' numbers, they're way down from what we've seen from him in the past. And I think there's a stat that's floating around, like they're the only team in the NFL that hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in October yet, which is crazy because – which it's crazy. It's like, man, you have all these numbers and you see all these things. Like Rashee Rice is still their leading receiver, and I think by a decent margin. Like Kelsey's not been that productive, and Rice has missed the last 2 games. The problem is that it hasn't cost them a game yet, and they've been just fine as far as the end result goes. But yeah, they're an interesting team. Again, beat up at wide receiver. We'll see how big of a DeAndre Hopkins is in the game plan this week. I think they got him on Wednesday, so I don't know how much PT he'll get this week, but yeah, they've got some new faces around there. Obviously Xavier Worthy out there too, kind of had that big debut on Sunday Night Football. I've been kind of quiet since then, but again, with how many injuries they've had offensively, defensively you can kind of take away Worthy with him just being kind of the more of a speed guy. And they don't have enough guys underneath. They don't have their yak guy and Rashee Rice to be able to really capitalize. But man.
Yeah. So looking at some of their stats on offense, here. Chiefs, where are they? I can't even find them. They must be way down here somewhere. Maybe I'm not used to finding them. I can't even. They're still 9th in offensive EPA somehow. Maybe that's. Damn. Yeah, so in drop back EPA, they're 15th. So they run the ball pretty well, I guess. From the looks of it, because they're still 6th in rushing EPA.
Put it in perspective. Pacheco's been out since week 2, but Kareem Hunt literally has the same yards per carry. They both average 4 yards a carry, so they do run the ball pretty well. They got a good O-line. I think that's one of the biggest things that's keeping them afloat. And I think that's a stat. That stat you just shared is more of an O-line stat. Like Creed Humphrey's a stud, Trey Smith's a stud. Thank God he's a free agent in the offseason. Tooney's a stud too. And their just tackles are a little bit suspect, but I think they're bad more in pass protection. I think in the run game they're decent. And I don't know if they're anything to write home about, but they're obviously been able to get by with those guys holding down the edges. But,
Yeah. Basically, it has to be the run game is a big part of it. Because on offense, it's funny how this team is turned into a running defensive team. Over the years, and you think about just 3 years ago, you're like, oh my God, how do we stop these guys in the air? And now it's maybe we stop the run and get some pressure of Mahomes, and just pray we can get some move the ball on defense. We'll be all right, but it's just the change in dynamic for this team is super interesting, and they're still finding ways to win.
And that's the thing. What makes them scary is they're a defensive team that runs the ball really well with the best quarterback in the NFL,
who doesn't turn the ball over in the fourth quarter. We talk about whatever he's done. He has 8 interceptions, worked interceptions, touchdowns. He doesn't have a fourth quarter interception, so I think that's the thing with him too.
Yeah, he kind of plays games, right? He'll take his chances, like what you're talking about. He'll take his chances. He'll gamble a little bit in those first 3 quarters, and then in the fourth, he kind of locks it in and gets a little bit. I don't know if conservative is the right word, but more careful with the ball. and takes less risk for sure.
Yeah, a big thing that for this game, of course, on the defensive side is the blitzes. Like, they're gonna be blitzing Gardner Minshew a lot. I'm not gonna. I mean, they had Brock Purdy in hell. I mean, Justin Herbert handled a little bit better. Those are two games I watched. I wanted to watch some of the better quarterbacks they played. I didn't go see Joe Burrow because that's kind of like week 2, but Purdy wasn't hell. He played terrible because of it, and he actually handled the pressure, like pocket movement wise. So I'll show a little bit, but it was more just like the hell and then the coverage behind it. It's like you're in hell, but then the guys aren't really wide open either. So it's a tough thing for any quarterback to do. And and I'm watching this, I'm like, man, I don't know how many times Gardner Minshew is going to get sacked. They're going to be coming after his ass. Like, this is not, Spagnuolo's not going to try to, I mean, he'll try to mix it up a little bit. Like, I'm gonna show this one play because the way to beat them is tight ends. I was gonna show that too. I think they gave it up the most fantasy points to tight ends or something like that, and a lot of that stuff. And George Kittle had a really big game against them last week, but it's just some of the stuff they do. Like they had this one play where it looks like it's cover 3, and they somehow end up in cover 6. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Purdy read it right, but like, is Minshew going to do that? Those those type of things. And some of these blitzes, like, they come from everywhere. Like it's McDuffie and Bolton and Tranquil are all coming out at the one side, but then 2 guys will drop out from the other side. It's like, and it's all cover 0, and they could do it because they have the corners to do it. So it's going to be tough, man, because they're good against the run too. I was looking up, they're like they're top 10 in EPA. They're like 6th against the run, 8th against the pass in EPA. So I mean, you can't really run the ball. And the Chargers, that's why the Chargers couldn't beat them, because the Chargers, they want to run the ball and stuff it, and like, it's not gonna work. So that was my whole thing watching this, is like, how are the Raiders going to move the ball?
Yeah, and Spags is excuse me, Spags and Brian Flores are kind of like the cut from the same cloth of, like, they just do some crazy stuff where, like, defensively, like schematically, their defenses are a lot of fun to watch, because dudes will drop from the line of scrimmage, go play like too high and roll down, like blitz from depth and stuff like that. Yeah, they do some crazy stuff. Spags is he's a madman, man. Him and Flores are both kind of like that, where like they keep you on your toes, and even veteran quarterbacks can have a problem. So Minshew, it's going to be a lot about, getting the ball out quickly and making the right decisions, which sometimes that doesn't, that can be difficult, especially with the way things gone for Gardner. But hey, who knows? Maybe he'll be more prepared and ready to go this time around. Now that he knows he'll be the starter for the entire week. So
yeah, man. And there's probably a quick leash with him, because they brought in Desmond Ridder, who I watched his film this week, and I was like, you know what, maybe, I mean, he's better than these 2 guys probably for like what they want to do. Go ahead.
You think Ridder could get some reps? Ridder will get some reps this week?
I don't know, man.
I think Mitchell's got half. I think Bill tweeted it out. I think it was Bill. Maybe I'm mistaken, but like I kind of agreed with his timeline. Like, I can see like Minshew being for the next 2 weeks to get him to the bye. Then you have the bye week where Ridder has another week off to like kind of learn the playbook, and he gets to start. And then I think after that, O'Connell's eligible, and maybe they take it from there. So I don't know. I could see that being the plan at quarterback. That seems like a reasonable timeline for the situation. So
it seems like the smart timeline. But I got a feeling that he plays next week against the Bengals.
Okay,
I got a feeling, because it's just the way the Chiefs are going to. It's gonna be a hard game for just the way Gardner Minshew plays quarterback, because he's just not very. He's got to be patient in the pocket. He can't just run out. If he starts trying to run out of the pocket, there's going to be like Chanel or Tranquil just waiting for him, just for him to run out the pocket. They're going to be prepared for that. They're going to be like, okay, he's going to try to run, and they're going to be attacking his tendencies too. So, yeah, he's going to have to play really well to keep his job, because if he doesn't, especially if they're like down at half or something like that, or since the Chiefs offense isn't taking over the game and it's like 10-0 at half or something like that, they're not doing a damn thing, they might try to bring Ridder in for a spark, because like, Ridder can run and stuff like that, so he could like run for a first down and like and some of those things, and they could do some zone read stuff with him, and he can actually throw down field. So I think that's going to be a big difference. I don't know how well he handled the splits either, though. So this might not be the game for him. I think next week against a weaker Cincinnati Bengals defense.
But even Lou almost butchered Lou Amarillo. I can't say his name right now, but
Yeah.
Bengals D coordinator. He does some kind of crazy stuff too. He's not like quite like Flores or Spags, but he'll roll a lot of coverage and stuff like that. He can make life difficult for quarterbacks. So
Yeah, for sure. We'll see, man. All right, let's get into this Chiefs defense. Let's get into that. I'm up, right? We're good.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, perfect. All right, so we start with the run defense here, and they're just a team. I'm not going to single anybody out because this is a team defense against the run. They all play the run well. They all tackle well. The corners, the safeties, everybody tackles well. This is a team defense when it comes to playing the run. So you see, you got the little outside zone, and you see the cutbacks already blown up. You got Chris Jones, you got a blitz, Tranquil. You even got Karlaftis. He's even playing the cutback here. And it forces him to go to one hole. You're either going to bounce this or you're going to take it straight to where the play is supposed to be designed, right? For the outside zone. But you see they're already there. This is a team defense when it comes to playing the run. This is why they play the run so well. Like everybody's involved. Because this is a corner, number 35. He's making that tackle, the 97. That's a damn good player, too. I can't think of his name right now, but 97 is pretty damn good. So here we go. Another play. And this is the Niners, too. I'm just talking about these are good run teams. I really showed the two best run teams they played just to kind of to show how they stopped the running. So this is another little outside zone look, I believe. Let me see here. Yeah. So, right. And then, so there's nothing. There's no cutback. There's no lane. You can't really take it outside. Take it outside. You got 20 Reed. He's going to be coming down. You try to split this outside. There's really nowhere for Mason to go. You see Big 91. He's filling that up. I mean, Chris Jones is not even in the game here. You see 54. It was a Chanel. He's blowing that up. He's blowing up that gap, shooting the gap. 65 can't get to him. Bolton's in there. It's going to be tough to run the ball on these guys. I'm not going to lie. All right, here you go. Next one here. Now you're getting the toss a little bit here. And you see how they play team defense. This is what I'm talking about. Like how everybody plays the run. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not like this. See, Tranquil gets through there, forces him to bounce here, right? Now you see Reed and Bolton, who does a good job. Bolton doesn't even, he reads it right away. He doesn't even get close to where he can get touched. He just starts playing lateral, right? And just blows it up. Yeah. Bolton gets a lot of shit for not being good in coverage, but he played the run. Yeah. All right, and here it's just, like I said, it's just not the Niners. This is against the Chiefs here, the Chargers. I mean, see, this one Bolton just shoots right through the gap. I mean, they're trying to do like a kind of a zone read type of thing. Herbert sees it though. He's like, I just got to get rid of this damn ball. He should have kept it. Well, he does keep it actually, and then he gets blown up. He's like, I got to keep this because I don't know what's gonna happen if I don't. So he has to keep it. But then you see Chanel coming around, right?
Yeah.
And then they're getting no push either. And here comes Chanel. He just gives him a quick pop there. You're just all over these guys. Here, J.K. Dobbins. Here's another one. I said Chris Jones is 90 in this game. There's no Chris Jones. There's 69. He's getting push. You see 27 come down from this, right? And he's playing in the box there. And Bolton's everywhere. So Bolton's right there. He blows it up. He forces Dobbins to go right to 27. 27 makes a great tackle. It's team defense everywhere, guys. All right. Yeah, I know that. I know.
They're just really good up front.
everywhere, man. All right. So main guy I want to focus on too today is Trent McDuffie, because McDuffie is a big part of this defense. He allows them to play cover zero. And he's a part of cover zero, too. He's a great blitzer, which I'm going to show in a second here. So, see, we're getting a cover zero blitz here. And, Purdy probably should do it to Kittle because Kittle's wide open, which I'm going to talk about later on. As we talk about tight ends, Kittle's wide open. But he tries to take a deep shot, right? Because it's cover zero. Got a guy run deep. I'm going to take a deep shot. Just watch how McDuffie plays this, right? He finds the football, right? He's kind of late. Once he finds it, though, the guy does get his hands on it, and he plays through the hands, just swats it like it's nothing.
Great play.
Need to watch from this side. You see how these guys come from everywhere. They're coming from everywhere. Here comes Tranquil. This is cover zero. Everybody's coming. And Purdy gets rid of that ball quick, and he just plays through the hands. It's beautiful. All right, here he is in the slot too, which I really like this one, right? Because he knows he's got help inside here, right? Because it's basically kind of quarters from the end zone here, so he knows he's got help inside with the brackets, and he does a good job of knowing, okay, if I got help inside, I'm gonna go straight to outside. I'm gonna go straight to playing outside leverage, forces him inside. I know I got help, but he's still all over it, right? He's still all over that guy. Makes it a tough throw. Nothing there. And this is consistent stuff from McDuffie, man. It's just consistency.
I mean, he was the main reason why they felt comfortable getting trading L'Jarius Sneed this offseason.
Yeah, for sure, man. And then, of course, it's the blitzes. All right, so let me back it up here. So McDuffie is close inside and it's third down. I'm if I am Gardner Minshew, I'm guessing that he's gonna blitz. That's just I don't know. Maybe he won't, but because this time he's not looking at Brock Purdy, but sometimes he'll get his eyes on the quarterback and he kind of could tell a little bit. But this time he hides it really does a great job of disguising it. And one thing they do with their blitzes is you see Karlaftis, he's going to go outside, right? Which is going to open up this inside here. And he gets pressure right on them. And what it does is this rushes Brock Purdy's process, throws a pick. So even if it didn't get home, right? It didn't get home, this blitz here. It still rushed his process a little bit. Kind of made a move, and he kind of just ended up throwing an interception, which you could say that was based on the wide receiver, but
back it up real quick. Go back to that play. Watch that stand up. Is that Bolton, the stand up back over the guard? Does a little coffee house blitz on top of it too, and look what it does to Mason. It makes him late to pick up McDuffie because he's not sure if Bolton's blitzing. The Niners actually do a decent job of picking this up, but on top of bringing the corner off the edge, they run a coffee house stunt, which makes it even more of a bitch pick bags.
Yeah, exactly. So here's another one, McDuffie too here. Him playing just basic playing cover 3 like they do every single coverage that exists. So and you just see how he stays over the top. He's just I don't know. Just watching this dude's definitely if he's not top 5, he's definitely top 10 corner in the NFL. Right? Okay, so here's another blitz of him. So this is what I'm talking about when you see him have his eyes. He's inside, right? Because he plays outside and inside. He's inside here. He has your eyes on you. You are just I would assume it. Assume he's coming. Because then you see it again. We see now this time they kind of do like a zone blitz, right? And it kind of turns into a fire zone. It looks like cover 0, but it turns into a fire zone because 27, he's jumping all the way up here. And then you see they do the same thing where Karlaftis goes outside, he goes inside, but this time, since linemen have to take the inside man, you get 2 free guys. Boom, he gets a hit on him. And you see it from the other side here.
He's madman, man. He's a madman.
so because now Banks and 64, they're not blocking anybody, so he has to come help here. Right? And the 68 has to move inside, but it's Karlaftis and McDuffie are running free here. And of course, it forces a bad ball. And Brady does a good job of getting rid of this ball. Actually, he found the right guy here, get rid of it quick, but he was,
Yeah.
Nothing you could do, man. All right, I kind of already showed this one here. That's fine. All right, here's another one where they kind of do the same thing once again with McDuffie. As I'm talking about, if McDuffie is inside here, man, and you see these guys, and it looks like it's cover 0, you see nobody here. I would assume, because here he goes. And actually, I'm confused by the film because it's the other side. He's over here. My bad, guys. He's over here. Here's McDuffie right here. Same blitz, pop. And it's all day. Like they do this all game.
Yeah, whoever the back is, you got to be on top of that because Dobbins. I mean, I guess he kind of has to pick him, but never mind.
Oh no, he picked up Bolton, right?
Yeah, I thought he blocked. Yeah, because the way they had this look, I thought he was blocking the first look. I thought he was blocking the defensive lineman. No, he had to do that. Yeah, that's just a great scheme. God damn it.
And then 27's coming too. Here comes 27. I was more laughing at this because Herbert throws the ball so far that when he got hit, he almost threw a pick here because his arm streak's so strong. I was kind of laughing at that. All right, and then they get home with 3 too. So then the rush to 3, and then they got Chris Jones outside, and Karlaftis gets just a nice little spin move on 68, and then forces an interception. So they don't even have to blitz you. So how do you beat these guys, right? You got this is the Brock Bowers game. You got to throw at Brock Bowers all damn game. Now this is the play I was talking about. Like I don't know how this became cover 6, but it does. Okay, so this is a good read by Purdy. This does not look like cover 6, but it ends up being cover 6. It could be covered.
What the fuck?
I think it's covered. It might be cover 2 a little bit because it's corny. Like it's probably cover 2 here, but. Like, there's no way if I was playing quarterback, I would throw a pick here because I just there's no way I would be totally confused. But I mean, Purdy does a good job reading this. But that's what I'm saying. They don't have a lot of their safeties aren't. How to say this? They're not the greatest in man-to-man coverage, right? You can find ways to get these guys the ball. Like I like this one. Getsy does a lot of he steals stuff. Sometimes he needs to steal this. Like I hope he steals this because they're in cover 5 this time, which they do. They run more cover 5 than most teams, right? And since they're in cover 5, like I said, this safety 27, he's not the best player in the world, all right? And he makes the wrong decision. He goes with Ayuk, leaves Kittle wide open. I mean, with a better throw, is a touchdown, right? And this is I think they're blitz on this one too here. Seeing somebody late. But Purdy does a good job of movement. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, even when Purdy was moving in the pocket and finding guys downfield against some of these coverages, I mean, you have to be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. You really need like a top 15 quarterback to do some of this stuff. And then just you gotta throw to Kittle, man. You gotta throw to Brock Bowers. This is the Brock Bowers game. Like that is the answer. That is the only way that you're gonna.
I feel like we can say that it's just the rest of the way out. This is the Brock Bowers game. This is the Brock Bowers game for the Raiders. It's gonna be him.
It might be, man. It might be, but yeah. Those are some blitzes, man.
That's not like like you said that cover 6, like the safety 6, like started like they showed too high and ended up in too high. But with one of the safeties rolling down and the other safety rolling to the other side of the field, I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, that's just nuts. That's just crazy. Like, that is some of the stuff you see. Like, you literally, even in the NFL level, you're like, how do they teach this? How do they get away with it? How do they call this and install this and run it to such perfection? But yeah, it's what makes them a bitch, and I think that's why they become the I hate to say it, but the dynasty they've been over the last 3 years is because a lot of it has to do with Spags and how they've grown defensively. So.
Yeah, because a lot of it. That's why we see like Patrick Mahomes throwing touchdowns all over these guys in training camp. Because I think that's when they're doing these installs.
He's like, thank God.
He's like taking.
You mean I don't have to worry about a safety going across the field to run too high? Thank God.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It was crazy, but yeah, Trent McDuffie is legit, and I think he's like the like of course you got Chris Jones. I didn't highlight Chris Jones and all those other players, but I think that when you think about it, like Trent McDuffie, he's like a big part of this offense and what he likes to do because he could put him outside, he can cover somebody, he could move him inside, he's gonna blitz, like what I'm saying, like Raiders fans feel about Nate Hobbs. I mean, he's he could blitz like that too, and that's what I'm saying. When you see him inside, like I would even like he might cover somebody, but I would assume it.
Yeah. And the thing is that's crazy about him too is like I think at least last year, I think even the year before, like they kind of used him as more of a nickel when they had Snead and on the outside. So like they kind of like been like training him for this, and now that he's playing more outside, like when he is nickel, it's like he's back in his natural element, so it can be a little bit more. It's just easier for him and whatnot. He has the experience doing it. And then like the one play he showed where he was an outside corner against a cut split wide receiver, like, okay, that's basically like him playing a slot. So he can blitz off the edge and he has that experience. So yeah, that's some crazy stuff, man. Makes me worried. Makes me for sure. But
that's good. Yeah, we'll see how Gardner Minshew handles it. I mean,
yeah,
it's really what it is. I mean, last year we saw Raiders quarterback not complete a pass for 3 quarters against this. So
we'll see.
We don't see that.
Yeah. Get in some offense.
Yeah. You doing Noah Gray, right?
Yeah. So part of the reason why I wanted to do Noah Gray is, again, Chiefs weapons right now kind of beat up. No Rashee Rice. DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to be their top receiver, but obviously no tape on how they use him just yet. And everyone knows about Kelsey, but Noah Gray this past year has kind of emerged. And they use him in a lot of creative ways. Like we'll see some of it. They'll actually use like Kelsey as a decoy, and then he'll kind of like be come around to the back, and they can get some explosive plays out of that. So figure we dive into that since, again, not a lot of people know about him just yet. All right. So one of the things I want to start with, and apologies, some of these clips from the Ravens game are a little choppy. My internet was not great. I'm playing at Comcast for that. They were doing work in my area, but they will use him, unsurprisingly, like most tight ends, a lot of play action. And this is one of their plays that they like to do, the little screen here. And I guess technically not play action, my fault on that one. But again, you'll see these screens that they like to do where you just kind of like chip blocks for a second, and then releases out on the screen, set up perfectly for him. Nice block here from Creed Humphrey against Roquan Smith, who's a pretty good linebacker, one of the better ones in the league. And then one thing Gray's really good at is he gets up the field, gets north and south pretty well. And I think this is what 1st and 10 ends up picking up the first down, setting them up on 2nd and goal. This time we'll see it against the Niner game. Different look. This one's play action, but again, basically the same play, setting up that screen, little chip block, sell the run a little bit here against DN, then just release out into the screen. Again, get north-south. Kelsey with a nice block here against, I don't know, who is that? That's Fred Warner. Mm-hmm. Nice block against Fred Warner. Find the open space. He likes to hurdle for some reason. He's not that good after this catch, but he likes doing these little hurdles. I mean, he worked. Did on the last one too. Again, picks up the first down. This one's technically not a screen because it's downfield, but basically the same concept, right? Play action, have him sell a run, and boom, just dump it off to him. Again, guy gets up the field, that's for sure. Same basic play, just a little bit further down the field, and no blocking, obviously. Sell a little bit more with the bootleg to his side, dump it to him, get the field. He's easy to lose, especially with again with 87. Juju Smith-Schuster's been playing well for him, and then of course Xavier Worthy, and now DeAndre Hopkins too. We'll see a good example of them. Let's lose them here. Paulson Adebo. I was dying when I was watching this. Watch this Paulson Adebo. This is man coverage, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume he's supposed to be taking care of the tight end here. Probably not great leverage by him to start. I don't know. Maybe that's Jonathan Abrams' fault here, playing safety for the Saints. But see Adebo point here. Hey, he's pointing out the cross for somebody pick him up. Again, somebody pick him up. No, somebody pick him up.
Yeah, it's probably
nobody does.
Definitely Jonathan.
What's up?
Definitely Jonathan Abrams.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. And Jonathan Abrams bailing. Well, the Saints have a few problems here because 52. Are they playing man or are they playing zone? I don't know. But got a few problems here from the Saints, and both linebackers obviously come way too far downhill against this play action pass. And Jonathan Abram being Jonathan Abram back here, again, wide open for a touchdown. But easy to lose the second tight end on the team. And again, he's been productive for him this year. I think they're 4th leading receiver right now. So can't have the coverage breaks because he'll make you pay a little bit. This one, get a little hurry up here from the Chargers. This is essentially just going to be like basically a hot route, but they're going to try to set up like a screen or a pick a little bit down the field. Kelsey's just going to miss the block. But again, like you can see, like they get the off coverage look that they want. Bud Dupree blitzes. So again, basically, I mean, you can see as soon as he passes Dupree, he's just turning around looking for the ball. And his man, I think that's Gilman, is 10 yards away. And this should be an easy first down. And who knows if you can make that safety miss. Just Kelsey misses the block, and it's not. But again, you can see kind of the things they'd like to do where they like to dump it to him. One more rep here in the play action. This is the forget the technical term. Correct me, Marcus. This is the little Brock Bowers, Travis Kelsey route.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that little like fake drag, fake deep over, and then kind of work towards the sideline. You can see here Denzel Perryman, a former Raider, kind of throws him off. He goes to open it, and then all of a sudden Denzel Perryman, he does the point. Go get that guy. No one's there, and he's pretty good. Gray's pretty good at recognizing when he's hit the hole in the zone. Slows down.
That's a good job at him stopping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ends up picking up, I think, was it 30-yard gain here. So again, he's easy to forget because they got so many other guys you got to worry about. Or they got a handful of other guys you got to worry about. And he can make plays too.
They're getting him ready to get rid of Kelsey, huh? That's what this looks like.
Maybe.
I mean, I've never seen Noah Gray run that route.
No, yeah, that was surprising me. I'm like, they don't have him do it much. I think that was the only time I've seen him do it. But like obviously it's in the bag and they trust him to do it.
Yeah.
A little bit of foreshadowing on that last one. Again, pretty good against zone coverage. This time he's going to recognize Roquan gets a little bit too far outside the hash, so he kind of parks himself on the inside on this little hook route. Second and 10, just trying to get 10 to make it third and manageable. Nice little catch in traffic here with Roquan and Kyle Williams barreling down on him.
Hamilton.
Ends up making Hamilton. Kyle Williams. Oh, I was thinking Kyle Hamilton barreling down on him. Yeah, setting him up with the third and somewhat manageable, at least from a 2nd and 20. Similar type of thing here against the Falcons. This time, this is a little bit what I'm talking about, where like they'll use Kelsey to like as a decoy, like they'll put them on the same side. Like if you watch Kelsey, the Falcons are going to run cover 4 here, and this middle linebacker is going to carry Kelsey almost like it's Tampa 2, and then look who's going right in the area where the linebacker was on this little hook route. He's wide open again. Like you see this linebacker, he takes Kelsey. I mean, that's easy. That's playing catch with your dad in the backyard for a first down in the NFL. Again, similar thing here. This time they're going to get Fred Warner, who again, Fred Warner's best linebacker in the league. But what they're going to do is they're going to run a little seam route here. I'll let it play a little bit. Run a little seam route here with Gray, and then Kelsey's going to run the drag underneath, and then just watch Fred Warner. Watch what Warner does. Takes the cheese on Kelsey because again, 87's 20-time All-Pro or whatever, best one of the better receiving tight ends in NFL history. So again, understand why Red Warner's trying to put the clamps on him. Problem is, no one picks up the seam route. I don't know who that is. 2's not really in a position, kind of more covering grass, not helping out the linebacker. Again, nice little easy pitch and catch here for an explosive play. I mean, if he stays on his feet, makes this safety miss, he might even score a feet, depending on if this guy can catch him here on the backside. So what they do with him is, he might not get more than 3 catches a game, but they will scheme a few plays open for him that got to be ready for. This time, Niners are again going to be in cover 4. You're going to see this little switch release with him and Worthy. And again, this is what I was talking about earlier with Worthy's speed. Like Lenore is kind of, I think, probably a little bit too concerned with Worthy beating him over the top, and he ends up following him. And then look who's wide open. Noah Gray here. Attack of the coverage rules. Holmes just dumps it off to him. Another explosive play. So again, they'll use their other weapons to kind of scheme him open and create some decoys. And leads to some explosive plays. Can be frustrating. Now, he's not the best route runner. He's not obviously Travis Kelce. He's not 87 or anything like this, but he is decent at getting open, create some separation on these little dig routes. Like this one, you'll see it here. He does a pretty good job of setting up the safety. So is the outside here at the top of the route. Sorry. This one, choppy quality, or the choppy film makes it harder to see. But again, like you can see him kind of push to the outside a little bit here, keep that safety on the hash. That ends up creating some separation to go pick up a first down. This one's going to be a little zone beater against Niners. Fred Warner fights through some contact. Again, Fred Warner ends up picking him up against, looks like this Tampa 2 look from the Niners, and he beats Fred Warner across Warner's face. Makes a nice catch on a low ball. Picks up the third down conversion. So again, not a huge part of their offense, not a guy that they necessarily run through, but they'll scheme some stuff open for him. And if you forget about him, he can hurt you. That's for sure. He's been a pretty good player for him this year. I think they gave him a contract extension in the offseason. I think a lot of that's because he does complement what they do so well, and able to capitalize on the 4 or 5 targets that he does get a game. So,
yeah, I mean, it looked like he looks like he's more part of the offense than I was expecting.
Yeah, for sure.
He's running a lot more routes where they're trying to get him the football, which I think is very interesting. I think that's very interesting to watch because, they don't have a lot of options right now. And, Mahomes did have he had a good game against the Saints, and the Niners, he had those picks, but they were still able to put up some points just because their defense kept giving them chances. But yeah, man, it was super interesting watching him run some of those routes that you would know would be for Kelsey back in the day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you kind of can feel like they know Kelsey's on the downside of his career, and they're trying to get Noah Gray ready to kind of be that guy a little bit in this offense, because there's going to be the point where they have to move on from Kelsey. I mean, Mahomes is going to be here until he's like 50, so it's going to be a long period of time before Mahomes retires. But we'll see what they kind of get the Raiders' game plan is. I mean, Max Crosby just has to dominate this game. I mean, that's
pretty much, yeah. I mean, I think that's going to be the key. I think, and that's how they won last year. Is they won in the trenches. If you remember, Bilal Nichols getting the penetration on that one botched handoff that they had to get the touchdown and stuff like that, and getting pressure on Mahomes, making him throw it a little bit sooner than he usually wants to. So I think that's going to be the big key, is just kind of beating them up front. And, no easy task with the guys they have. They got to win around the edges, like you said, with Max Crosby. I don't know how many stunts you want to do with him this week, because again, you don't want him going into their strength of their offensive line. You want him attacking the edges and attacking those tackles, because they're the weak part of their line for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow for the instant reaction, talking about the after the game. So we'll be ready for that, and hopefully the Raiders just don't embarrass themselves and keep it close. That's what I'm hoping. Just
cover the spread. Cover the spread.
I mean, that's what we want. We want to cover the spread here, guys. But yeah, it is gonna be a rough game. It's more about the offense. I think the defense will probably be able to keep it from being a blowout early, but the offense is in trouble. I hope they got a good game plan. So that's all I say.
We need a little defensive magic like last time. I forget what the score was. It 17-10, something like that.
20, I think it's 2014. I think something
like that. Yeah, low scoring affair. The lower the closer to the under we get, the better for the Raiders. Put it that way.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, we're out of here, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.